breakups are undeniably one of the most painful experiences we endure as human beings. When someone you deeply care about and love chooses to leave, it can feel like your world has shattered. In these moments, it's easy to be consumed by grief, anger, and a sense of loss. However, Stoicism, a practical philosophy developed over 2,000 years ago, can offer a guiding light through the darkness of heartbreak. Stoicism teaches us that while we cannot control the actions of others, we can control our reactions, our thoughts, and our inner dialogue. By focusing on what we can control and accepting the reality of what we cannot, we can begin to find peace and even grow through the pain of a breakup. In this exploration, we will break down Stoic principles from great thinkers like Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca. These 10 lessons are designed to help you process your emotions, cultivate resilience, and ultimately transform heartbreak into a path of personal growth. Along the way, I will offer exercises, meditations, and real-life examples to help you apply Stoic teachings to your own life. Let's begin this journey of healing together. The first and perhaps most foundational Stoic principle is the understanding of what is within your control and what is not. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic teachers, famously said, "Some things are in our control and others are not." This simple yet profound truth is the cornerstone of Stoic thought. In the context of a breakup, this teaching reminds us that we cannot control the feelings or decisions of the person who left us. Trying to change their mind, hoping they'll come back, or obsessing over what went wrong is a futile exercise. All of these things are outside of your control. What is within your control is how you respond, how you choose to interpret the breakup, and what steps you take to heal. To practice this, consider writing down 2 lists, one for things you can control and one for things you cannot. This exercise can help you clearly see where your energy should be focused. Letting go of what you can't change, such as the actions and decisions of your ex, frees you to concentrate on your own inner growth. Chapter 2: Embracing Impermanence. One of the core teachings of Stoicism is the concept of impermanence. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Observe how all things are continually being born of change. The nature of the whole loves nothing so much as to change the things that are, and to make new things like them." In other words, everything in life, our relationships, our circumstances, even our emotions, is in a constant state of flux. When someone we love breaks up with us, it can feel like the end of something eternal, but the Stoics remind us that all things are temporary. The relationship, while beautiful and meaningful, was never guaranteed to last forever. By understanding and accepting the impermanence of everything, we can begin to see that the breakup is part of life's natural cycle. This mindset allows us to grieve the loss while also preparing us for the fact that new experiences and relationships will arise. Life is dynamic, and what feels permanent now is just a passing phase in the grand scheme of things. Chapter 3: Allowing yourself to feel without attachment. Stoicism does not teach us to suppress or ignore our emotions, but rather to feel them without becoming attached to them. Seneca acknowledged that grief and pain are natural human responses, writing, "What need is there to weep over parts of life? The whole of it calls for tears." However, Stoicism also encourages us not to be overwhelmed by these emotions. After a breakup, it's important to allow yourself to fully feel the sadness, disappointment, and heartache. These feelings are part of the healing process, but Stoicism teaches us not to cling to these emotions or let them define us. As Epictetus taught, we must remember that these emotions are temporary states of mind. Practice observing your emotions from a distance, almost as if you were watching them from the outside. A helpful exercise is to meditate on your emotions daily, acknowledging what you feel without judgment, and reminding yourself that these feelings will pass in time. Chapter 4: The Power of Negative Visualization. One of the Stoic practices that might seem counterintuitive at first is premeditatio malorum, or negative visualization. This practice involves imagining the worst possible scenarios, including loss, pain, and hardship, to prepare ourselves mentally and emotionally for when they inevitable. Preparing for the possibility of loss, including breakups, we reduce the shock and emotional intensity when they happen. Imagine if, before your relationship ended, you had already accepted the possibility that it could end. This wouldn't have diminished your love, but it would have prepared you to face the end with greater resilience. You can practice negative visualization by setting aside time each day to think about life without the things you currently have, including relationships. Far from being pessimistic, this practice cultivates gratitude for the present and helps us build strength to cope with life's inevitable changes. Chapter 5. Reframing the breakup as an opportunity. Stoicism teaches us that every obstacle presents an opportunity for growth. Marcus Aurelius famously wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." While a breakup can feel like a massive roadblock in your life, it can also serve as a turning point, an opportunity for self-discovery and personal development. Rather than seeing your breakup as purely a loss, try to reframe it as an opportunity. What can you learn from this experience? How can this pain help you grow stronger, wiser, and more resilient? Reflect on the areas where you may have relied too much on the relationship for happiness or validation. Use this time to become more independent and self-reliant. You might also find that this is a chance to pursue new passions, friendships, or even new romantic relationships. What feels like the end of one chapter is also the beginning of another. Chapter 6. Cultivating inner strength. One of the greatest gifts Stoicism offers is the idea that true strength comes from within. Seneca writes, "A wise man is content with himself and does not need the approval of others." When a relationship ends, it's easy to feel like you've lost part of yourself, especially if much of your happiness and sense of identity was tied to the other person. However, Stoicism teaches us that our contentment should never depend on external circumstances or people. Your inner strength, your ability to find peace and happiness, comes from within you, not from another person. This is a powerful realization, and once you internalize it, you can begin to rebuild your sense of self after the breakup. Take this time to work on self-improvement and self-care. Reflect on the qualities you admire in yourself and how you can further develop them. Cultivate habits that strengthen your mind and body, such as regular exercise, meditation, and learning new skills. When you learn to rely on your inner strength, you will become less dependent on others for happiness. Chapter 7. Practicing detachment. Detachment is one of the most difficult yet essential Stoic practices, especially when it comes to relationships. Stoicism teaches that we should love deeply, but without attachment to outcomes. As Epictetus says, "When you are delighted with anything, be delighted as if it were one of those things that are not among the things you own." This means we can love others, but we must recognize that they are not ours to keep forever. Detachment does not mean being cold or indifferent. Rather, it means accepting that all things, including people, are temporary and not fully within our control. Practicing detachment helps you maintain your inner peace, even in the face of loss. One practical way to cultivate detachment is by regularly reminding yourself that the people and things in your life are on loan from the universe. This mindset allows you to appreciate what you have while it's here, without clinging to it when it's gone. Chapter 8. Focusing on virtue. Over emotion. Stoicism teaches that the highest good is to live a virtuous life, regardless of the emotions we experience. Marcus Aurelius constantly reminds himself to focus on virtue, writing, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." When dealing with a breakup, this principle can be a guiding light. While it's natural to feel sad, angry, or even bitter after a breakup, Stoicism encourages us to rise above these emotions and act with integrity. Instead of seeking revenge, harboring resentment, or dwelling in self-pity, ask yourself, how can I act in accordance with my values? What is the most virtuous response to this situation? Focus on being kind, honest, and self-disciplined, even when it's difficult. By prioritizing virtue over fleeting emotions, you will find a sense of peace and fulfillment that goes beyond the pain of the breakup. Chapter 9. The Power of Reflection and Self-Examination. Reflection and self-examination are critical tools in Stoicism. Marcus Aurelius frequently wrote in his journal as a way to reflect on his actions, thoughts, and feelings. This process of regular self-examination can help you gain clarity and insight during a breakup. Set aside time each day to reflect on the breakup. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this experience? How did the relationship shape me, and how will I move forward? What emotions am I holding on to, and how can I release them? Journaling can be a powerful way to process your thoughts and gain perspective. By reflecting on your experiences, you can uncover valuable lessons and identify areas where you can grow. Chapter 10. Moving Forward with Acceptance. Acceptance is perhaps the final and most essential Stoic lesson in dealing with a breakup. As Marcus Aurelius writes, "Accept the things to which fate binds you, and love the people with whom fate brings you together, but do so with all your heart." While the breakup may have brought pain, it is also a natural part of life's journey. Acceptance means fully acknowledging that the relationship is over and letting go of any lingering hopes, regrets, or what-ifs. It's not about denying your feelings or pretending that the breakup didn't hurt. It's about recognizing that this experience is part of the flow of life and that you are capable of moving forward. As you accept the breakup, you'll find that the weight of emotional pain begins to lift. With acceptance comes the freedom to rebuild your life, rediscover yourself, and embrace new opportunities with an open heart. In conclusion, Stoicism provides a powerful framework for navigating the emotional turmoil of a breakup. By focusing on what you can control, embracing impermanence, practicing detachment, and cultivating inner strength, you can find peace and personal growth through the pain of heartache. Remember that the Stoics didn't seek to avoid life's challenges. They faced them head-on, using adversity as a path to wisdom and resilience. In the same way, this breakup can be a catalyst for becoming the best version of yourself. Thank you for joining me on this journey through Stoicism. If you found these teachings helpful, I encourage you to reflect on them and incorporate them into your daily life. Healing from a breakup is not easy, but with the guidance of Stoicism, you can emerge from this experience stronger, wiser, and more at peace. Be kind to yourself, stay grounded, and remember, the person who truly holds the power to shape your future is you. If you found these teachings helpful, please consider liking and subscribing for more teachings on how ancient philosophy can help you every day. As always, stay strong and stay virtuous.